Staying with us, we still have our guest with us. In the first part, you referenced the law quite a bit, and I wanted to know, what is government doing? Because we keep saying there's a law, but Nigerians don't know the law. Is there some kind of a campaign to let Nigerians know what the laws are? Because people just, in Nigeria, you can throw the trash out the window, nobody's going to catch you. We use pet bottles and put in the gutter, nothing will happen. But they have people that will clean it, you know? So what exactly is this law they are breaking?
It's the Lagos State Environmental Management Law 2017. The law is very explicit. On our part as a government, I think we also have to ramp up our advocacy. But that is not to allow people take a run at the law. Ignorance of the law is not an excuse at all.
But if I've been trashing something for years there, nobody stopped me. Suddenly, now wake up in the morning and shut down my building. And I'll be wondering, what exactly?
I want to shut down like that. I'll serve you a notice to abate the nuisance.
Was that done?
Yeah. For all these markets, they will serve notices. Within 48 hours, abate the nuisance. But you see, over the years, like you said, if you are used to bad behavior, you believe you can do it and get away with it. It takes a while. But we've said to ourselves, not just the environment, those in physical planning are doing the same. Those in transport are going to do the same. Right. Those in waterfront are going to do the same. All public-facing ministries, let us stand up to our task. I'll give you an example of how people badly behave and getting away with it. For about 12, 15 years, VGC was flooding, Victoria Garden City, well planned by the lagoon, getting so badly flooded. And through the years, they've been saying, this is just not acceptable. But for one or two reasons, nobody was able to address the issue the way it should be addressed. So 2 weeks ago, we got a letter from the association. And I said, let us go impromptu visits. We were going to a quarter. After a quarter, I said, okay, guys, let us go out and let's see what's at VGC. When we got there, this is a canal. This is a canal, about 8 meters. And 3 houses chose to block the canal part. Sorry, Morayo. They chose to block it deliberately. And they extended their property beyond the canal. Wow. Yes, beyond the buffer zone. And the whole estate for about 12, 15 years had been flooded.
Because of those 3 houses? Those
3 houses. On getting there, I entered, I saw it, and I said to the permanent secretaries, this is not rocket science. Let us remove
the houses.
Let us remove. I'm not going to demolish your house. My own is, I will remove what is blocking my drainage. However, no.
It's your house.
However, where I remove it is the law. I will abate it. I will just remove the nuisance. It's a nuisance. And what we did was, that was a Friday. By Sunday, we had cleared it. We had cleared that drainage to the lagoon. And we solved a problem of 15 years.
But then Nigerians will ask, who gave those 3 people permission to build there? And we pretend like they built and we did not see
it. One of them said he had an approval. And I asked him a very logical question. To start with, I have a legal background. I'm a lawyer. I practice law. I asked, can you put something on nothing? Can illegality beget legality for you? It's a total no. Illegality can never beget, it can never vest you a title. It's not going to happen. Okay. At once, you'll still be branching that document. But what's the worth of that document? It's worthless. And we solved the problem.
No, you've not answered the question. You've not answered the question.
Who gave the license?
Who gave him the license?
Yeah.
Oh,
is that person going to be penalized?
Now, if I were the person that said, I have approval, you write the governor. Let him investigate. I'll set up a PMB.
Okay.
It's a system. I can't go into that. That is not within my powers. But if you are so convinced that you had a title that will make you block a drainage, then forward it to the governor. And I know the governor.
Follow it up.
And follow it up. They will investigate and set up a PMB if people have connived somewhere to do that to you. But what I found out most times, they don't usually have approvals.
Oh.
We went to Ikota. Ikota was a very touchy one. Touchy because you see properties coming down for the sake of public good. It's touchy because we are all humans. Emotions were very high. But nobody told them the truth. Those that knew the truth, they knew why we came. Pre-COVID, we showed the drone shot to everybody. It was green. Wetland, everything. The canal part the channel had been there for about 20 years. So they all met it there. So by 2020, before COVID, they had meetings. You can't build on this part. They all knew. Those that are built, kindly find a way to abate it. Remove it, and let us quickly fix this thing. Then COVID happened, but they had to run for safety. You won't believe it. They continued. They now narrowed down a canal from about 10 to like 2 meters.
Whoa.
So 12 villages were now being flooded regularly. So those 12 villages now wrote to the governor and they wrote to my office. We got there. We met with them. They didn't argue. And we said, we have to create this canal path to the Ikota River. And in creating it, whatever had sitting on that canal path, they actually built on the canal path.
Wow.
They didn't argue. They now said, okay.
Goodness.
It just tells you how we be. It's a brazen attitude for most of us. And we said, okay, remove it. I didn't demolish the houses. I had to remove, and it's obstruction. Yeah,
it's demolished. He's just saying, he's just using.
I had to remove those obstructions.
The Ikota is different from Ajao Estate. Is it Ajao Estate?
Ajao Estate, I don't know about that. It has to do with...
Okay, we didn't demolish.
That's an NCA. Let me take this call from Kelechi. Kelechi from Shasha. Thanks for calling, Kelechi. You're live. Go ahead, please.
Hello,
yes, go ahead.
I am happy you are discussing this matter. Please, I want to give a complaint to the Honorable Commissioner. Can you hear me?
Very clearly. Go ahead, please.
Okay, please, Honorable Commissioner, I'm happy you are here on this program. See, we are talking about environmental pollution. Please, I want to draw your attention to the market at Ladipo, not Ladipo, Katangwa. Please, that place is worse than environmental pollution or the nuisance talk about. That place was demolished about 5 years ago. So all the toilets where they are, in fact, 80% of the land, the space in that market is dump. They use it for as dump site. Now, sheep, people they use people are sitting on top of sheep. That place is something else. In fact, if you go there, you ask yourself, please, are human beings, are these people human beings? It has been like that for over 5 years. This is the first time I'm complaining about this matter on this on this program.
Okay. Thank you very much.
The regular caller.
Kelechi, thank you very much. We shut down Ladipo. We shut down Ladipo for about 2-3 weeks because we saw it. I went there myself and I saw the level of sanitary degradation. And I said to them, you can't market here, you can't do business here. And we gave them the checklist, standard checklist of what you have to do to meet up the requirements to run your business. And they did. However, on our own part, we said to Loma, your regular visitation, you must increase. We've also unleashed the health officers. We used to call them Wole Wole. They have about 600 sitting there in the ministry. I said, you don't have to sit down here. Go out there. Go and see what's happening out there. Complement the work of Loma. And they are doing that fully. So we shut them down, but we can't shut them down perpetually if they've met the requirements to reopen.
Okay, so there are a few things that concern many Nigerians. It is that when government is inefficient in in maintaining law and order for a period of time, the citizens have to bear the brunt, and we don't penalize or punish or publicly call out the people within the government who haven't done their job. So if a building goes up completely in Lagos, there are people who are meant to, from LAPSCA, meant to supervise and check that building on a regular basis. Why did they let a building go up on a canal and they didn't pull it down? And they get away scot-free. They are still earning salary, they are getting promotion, while the investors, the person who buys the building, is now having to bear the brunt of how to call the real estate company to get a refund. This is something that we've seen online, and the question is, why are we not holding the government side accountable for what they've done, in how they are culpable in supporting this infraction?
Now, in fairness to the citizens, and in fairness to the Ministry of Fiscal Planning, the Commissioner for Fiscal Planning and his essay are all out there. After we went to Ikota, they also went to Ikota, and they asked them, bring your building plan approval. As I speak to you, none of them None of them. If they have, they will have brandished it online. None of them had a building plan approval. Does it make it right? No. Now, on our own part, I have said it. If you have a genuine case and you believe somebody in government, in the civil service, or even outside it, connived somewhere to get involved in all this, do a detailed petition, attach a proof, and send it to Mr. Governor. He will treat it.
That still, we don't answer the question, sir.
No, that's the only way they can deal with them.
No, what we have not answered is there are people whose job is to supervise this area.
That's why I
their
said,
job is to do checks
In addition,
all around.
even the local government, their job is to support. Yeah, so what kind of building going up in your local government?
Local government is not involved.
No, but
it's under fiscal planning and building commission. That's a LASCA. Their own job is to supervise, and they have people that supervise. They will put seal. So somehow somebody supervised that area, and yet the building finished.
Yeah.
That person's name should have been put out. That person should have been penalized.
Let me pause you for a second.
it's never too late.
I have to take this call from Dubai, then you answer that question. Good morning, Prophet Odukoya. I'm so sorry. You're live. Go ahead. You're live now.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
God bless you.
Yes, sir.
God bless you. I'd like to have your conversation with Commissioner Environmental
Yes.
for Lagos.
Yes.
I thank you very much. God bless you. God will continue to strengthen you and to protect you more. You know, when our people don't understand, they always blame the government, especially when God shoots somebody that is able to do the work. They will put effort to discourage that person to bring the person down. You are working, please keep it up. We go outside, we live in abroad, we saw it. And when you go back home, people go back home and start complaining, blaming the government, and like the one spoiling the thing. You see, because, please, I want to advise, when they put out the gutter, or those women are used to sweep the road, they should pass it immediately. I live somewhere in Lekki, Sabote those times. You can see the center of the road. The sand is already like another overhead bridge. Instead of to remove it, they put it there. So they are spoiling the work of the government, please.
Okay.
God bless you.
Thank you very much, Prophet.
I was just going to ask you
So there was a question Tokwe asked.
He said they will
They will notice the people that, okay, all right, go ahead.
what are the requirements of these markets? What exactly do they have to do to stay open or not to be shut?
Now, you must trade in a very clean environment. Your waste must be kept properly at a point where LOMA or its PSP operatives can pick them up. For all the markets involved, they were not doing that. In fact, some of them, like Kelechi said, you can't even go in there and tell me you're going to buy something you want to go and eat. And it was not going to be rocket science to take those decisions. Loma gave the checklist. Meet this checklist. And going forward, your waste management must be on this trajectory, or else we'll come again.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
Let me go on a break. When we come back, there's so many issues. Recycling is there, and so many things. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Thanks for staying with us. We still have our guests with us. I was going to touch on the issue of this. One of your sister agencies clamping everybody's car in front of business. I know that's probably not under your purview, but you probably have an idea.
Yeah.
It's part of what's going on, because Nigerians are also complaining that I jejely went to a business to go and to park my car, and I entered, I came back, and then I got it clamped. Is that even legal at all? And secondly, you've been shutting down some really, really big popular stores in Lekki, and people are thinking, yeah, we're hunting them, but let's take two different topics. Let's start with the clamping down of the cars in front of the businesses. What's that about?
Now, there's a law that set up that agency, and that law is meant to push back on touting, where area boys will just come around, park vehicles, non-state actors controlling that, that side of government business. Now, interestingly, on Saturday, I got a message, a video of somewhere in Surulere, so I forwarded to her, Ms. Sadelabu, and she sent me details. Because I was asking her, I said, how about the invoicing? How do you serve notices? And apparently they serve all of them notices. They even asked them to pay instrumentally. That you don't have to pay once for this service or this agency. You can pay monthly, and then they will serve you notices over time. But you see, Morayo, in truth, our people just don't believe things should work the right way. Non-state actors conniving with people over the years had entrenched their own interest over state and the general interest of other people. And we can't continue on that trajectory. So it gets to a point where we have to just say enough. And when it's enough, let us stop it.
Enough is enough.
And reverse that unusual course.
Okay.
Now to the second one. And that's about...
I mean, some really, really interesting, nice buildings in Lekki, Admiralty, big shop tapes, like Olaya, you know, places that you go to eat correct food.
Olaya.
Why are you shutting them down like this? What did Olaya do?
2 nights ago, I was the one, I usually drive around myself. That's the only way I can assess how bad things are. So I attended a tribute for a friend of mine. So I left VI. I was a bit low, I was a bit sober. So I had to go and see 2 of my friends. And when I got there, they told me that we thought you people shut down Kingfisher. They are open now. I said, they are open, okay. I said, okay, no problem. I didn't even tell them I was going to go out. So I went upstairs, I picked my car, and I drove. As I was driving, there was a noise I was hearing. I was trailing that noise. So it was coming from Folau Sibo. I went down Folau Sibo myself. And I saw the noise, cars blocked everywhere. And I parked. I said, call me the manager of this place. And the guy came down. He said, they're just opening. And I said, look at the time. It's past 11. People are going to work tomorrow morning. Put yourself in their shoes. Even if you tell me Folau Sibo is a mixed use, how about those staying behind Folau Sibo? Kindly shut it down now. And I waited for 20 minutes. He didn't do it. And I recorded the video. And I left. So on my way out, we had shot virtually all those bars on Folau Sibo for the same infraction 2-3 days before. So I drove past. At the end of Wole Lateju to Admiralty, I saw this crowd. So they had opened Kingfisher. They had broken the seal.
Wow.
So I parked my car. I activated the camera I had on me, and I walked in there. I ordered water. I sat down with them. They served me. And I came out. I called the GM. I said, where are you? Kindly call the CSO, call the GMT. Said to the governor, said, I will deploy police. So by 12:35 or thereabout, we shot it, and we got the 2 managers that broke our seal, and we said to them, why would you do this? Once we're talking about that, there's one big one again in Lekki. But we didn't know because the complainant just told me yesterday evening. The GM came and said, look, this place that was sealed,
It's open.
they had their regular strip gig. And I said, they opened? Very good, no problem now. Go and reseal. And you seal for a long time. And what are we doing? We're telling them it's not business as usual. If you think you are so big and I can waive it for you, then I can as well just waive it for everybody.
Yeah.
And then it becomes an obesient state. Life becomes nasty, politician short. But we can't allow that in Lagos.
So
Yeah, go ahead.
Chris,
PC,
let me
what's that
ask, talk about the waste that is being, gathered from all of the markets. Do we have enough space to keep them? Where exactly are these wastes going to? And are you working with any or collaborating with any organization to see how you can convert this waste? We've seen that waste can actually be used to turn into energy, and we are looking for other options aside from the grid that is always collapsing every day in the country right now. So is there any plan to work with organizations that can work with that waste so it's not wasted?
Definitely, that's the future. Waste to wealth, waste to power is the future. And the mandates for Loma, LASEPA, LASPAC now is you have to collaborate and work in sync, not in silos. And I'm glad to tell you that we are in high-level discussion with companies that have deployed this and successfully did the same in a neighboring country. Same population like Lagos, same environment, and they used to have the same bad attitude. So hopefully in the next 3-4 months, we should get to a point where we can say, once start separating the waste, thank God Lafarge is taking up the waste and they are converting it for their own energy use. But we can still do much more, and we're on that path.
Now, do we have enough space to put the waste where
Pollution
popping up from?
We don't. We've been in conversation with 1 or 2 neighboring states. We've been in conversation with Togo. for a long time. But it's not about taking the waste there. It's about converting the waste to proper use. And then shut down the ones that we've filled up here.
The dump sites.
The dump sites.
Okay.
And then relocate some of them. The solos, work on them. And then we move it forward. There. But the bottom line is we must find a way to convert our waste to wealth.
Right.
But that's the future.
The future is now.
The present now.
No, that future is now. They are even still doing. They are doing that, but we have to ramp up capacity.
Okay. All right.
That's what we're trying to do.
Let me get Waike's question.
Yeah, I was going to ask, these places that you've sealed, especially like the clubs, is there a way they can appeal, or they have sealed them permanently because they're in residential areas?
Yeah, we can't seal them permanently. What we've done is, for some of them, is noise pollution. If it's noise pollution, they will tell you what to do, and they will give you the checklist. And then I've also said to them, you have to also include the safety commission. It's not enough that people come into the club to come and sit down and drink. How safe is that place? Is there an exit for fire or anything? So they're also doing that checklist. Then, lastly, the environmental hazard itself will tell them. If, for instance, I had an encounter with one of them 3 weeks ago. There was an inspection I was meant to do at the State House on a weekend. So I drove myself. And on my way out, I was on Awolowo Road for about 1 hour plus. They locked down the whole of Awolowo Road. I came down. I went to them and said, can you come and clear this nuisance? Let the road just be motorable for all of us. And they were just doing their typical yanga. And I left. And the next day...
You're always leaving.
No,
They will record it and leave.
you can't fight them now. I won't fight anybody. I left. The next day, we shot them. And we told them what to do. They met all the requirements. The one that was a bit dragging was the parking. And we said, go and get a proper valet arrangement within 30 days. And they spent 10 days from today. It's 10 days now. So in the next 20 days, we'll go back. But in fairness, they're comported. Okay. So there are different criteria.
Right.
Some were purpose-built. The one in Lekki was built purposely for that purpose, for that business. Yeah. However, you can't have your patrons coming there releasing gunshots. Gunshots regularly, fighting and stuff. The neighbors said, this is their experience, and they came with proof.
Okay.
All right, let me go on a break. When we come back, we continue the conversation. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.